All right, guys, it's 7 o'clock on the dot, so I hate to be late. And I know time is money and time's energy, and sure you got family and friends and everybody that we should be going home to. But look at here. I need 30 minutes of your time. If you give me 30 minutes of your time when this is all said and done, I hope to increase some of your profits and how to really run a positive cash flow in your practice and how to truly master your money. And if you have any questions during this presentation, feel free to see it in the chat. Right now, I won't be able to see it. But if you have any questions, anything you want me to answer, I will answer at the very end. But welcome to the call on this Wednesday. I'm so blessed you're here. I know you can be doing anything at 7 o'clock at night on a Wednesday, especially hanging out with friends or family. If you're from a different country, welcome to the call. If you're in a different time zone, welcome to the call. It might be 4 o'clock where you at. But anyway, let's get started. Let's jump right into it. Hey, guys, this is all about the keys. The keys, I believe, to run dental practice success, the keys of running it, how to get better practice, including better customer service, when to use technology, when are you going to use certain business operations to increase revenue, increase your profits, and streamline it so that you're more efficient. I mean, that's what this is all about. You're on this call, let's be honest, because maybe you're not making the profits you want in your practice right now, or maybe you're just trying to find new ways to get creative to train your team. Either way, this call is going to be helpful for you. I hope get some nuggets out of this. Look at this is like to me, this is over 2 decades of studying dentistry, studying business, and having success in my practice that works for me. Hopefully some of this works for you. A little bit about myself. I'm Dr. Bobby Grossi, born and raised in Flint, Michigan. I came from a single mom raising 3 kids. I'm pretty much a self-made man. Not one person in my family ever went to dental school. None of them were entrepreneurs. None of them ran the business. You see the dentist CO badge on here, and if we all know, I know you're dentists on the call for the most of you, and we in dental school taught us this one thing, right? They taught us how to be a dentist, but they never taught us how to run a successful business. Well, my dream, my passion is to convert people that are dentists to become the best CEOs in their brand. And just a little bit about my success story. I've taken a practice going from $750,000 to over $4 million in Flint, Michigan. Surviving pandemics, surviving water crisis, surviving GM shutdowns, surviving whatever's coming our way. I've been trained. I graduated dental school in 2003. I've literally been trained in orthodontic treatment. I'm only 10 credits away of having my master's in ortho. I've had 15 years of experience in implant dentistry, and I've also mentored and coached other dentists and professionals. I own Great Lakes Dental Design Lab. I actually own 2 crumble cookie franchises. So whether you're here and you're not a dentist, I mean, I understand entrepreneurship and business, and I just hope that some of the things I do, we're going to focus on dentistry. I hope some of the things I do are going to help you catapult your career. So that's a little bit about myself. But at the end of the day, if I was going to give you a statement of what represents me the most, I'm going to give you my I am statement. And for the first time, people are going to hear what I stand for. Ready? I am a spiritual warrior who is relentlessly committed to being a servant leader. And I stand for expansion. So at the end of the day, I stand to make sure you grow. That's what this is all about. I'm not getting paid to do this. You guys are here to learn something. I hope at the end of the day you grow. So why are you here? We talked about this. There's challenges that we're facing now managing dental practices. And let's be honest, we're probably going to face it for the next 18 to 24 months with the craziness we have in this world. So you're here to get a better understanding of it. You're here to understand how to truly have cash flow, how to improve patient retention, and how to explore new revenue streams. Well, at least I hope that's why you're here. Because the whole point is to make more profits, to increase revenue. So why? So everybody wins. Your family wins. So when this is all said and done, man, ask any questions, shoot away. I'm an open book. I will answer it as honestly and blatantly as I can because I stand for being a servant leader, and I want to be as authentic and real to you as I can, coming from my experiences within my practice. So that's what this session is about. What are we going to do? What's the agenda? The importance of cash flow and the profits in your dental practice, 1. Number 2, understanding cash flow. That's the lifeblood of your practice. Let's be honest, it's the lifeblood for everything. You have no revenue coming in, we're in trouble, right? Revenue streams, how to increase revenue when you might be stagnant? How do you diversify it? How do you even maybe maintain it for stability? How do you manage your expenses? Where can you save? Where can you not save? Where's smart to save? Where's this not? What about patient retention? The keys, which is obviously the key to steady cash flow. Then you got your marketing and outreach. When should you market? When shouldn't you market? What is smart marketing? What's not? You got your technology and efficiency, which is streamlining all your operations. You got your staffing balances, which is cost and quality. Legal and compliance, I'm going to touch on that. I'll tell you how I do it. It's not going to go and dive deep in legal and compliance. We know what it is as dentists. And then you're financially planning. Like, how do you set up short-term goals and long-term strategies to ultimately lead you to success? And when it's all said and done, I'm going to give you some case studies or people that I've mentored and grown, which has helped to double their revenue in literally 90 days. And then what's the next steps for your dental practice? That's where we're going to open up for Q&A. So that's the agenda. Let's talk about one. What is the importance of cash flow? To me, monitoring cash flow and profits is the most essential parts of dental practice. If you do not track your money, what's going in and what's going out, no different than your household. If you're not tracking your burn rate or your expense rate to your income rate, we're in problem, because that's where all the profits are. This is what's going to enable you to make all the informed financial decisions and ensure your practice remains financially viable. So how are you currently doing this? What are your strategies? What are your tips and techniques? Like, are you truly tracking your money? Are you not tracking your money? Who manages your money? Are you, as a business owner, the dentist, are you relying on an office manager to watch your cash flow? Are you actually engaged in knowing where you stand? To me, you should know everything. Whether you give other people a job, you should know every single morning where what your burn rate is. And when I say burn rate, how much is going in versus how much is going out. If more is going out than going in, you know you got a problem. But I would love to ask you, how are you doing this? Are you monitoring your cash flow daily, weekly, monthly? Are you providing, like, how healthy are you? It's no different than if you were a fitness person and you're looking at your body and you monitor you get on the scale every single day. How many calories are coming in versus going out? How much weight are you gaining versus not? Think of finances and cash flows the same way. Because we know if we have more money coming in than we have going out, that's awesome. Are you analyzing revenue and expenses? Like, literally, you need to be the CEO, the accountant, the CPA of your company. You cannot rely on other people to do this for you. That's when you get in trouble. There is not a moment in my life where I don't wake up every single day and I spend money at going out. And you're like, well, why would you pay your bills right when you come in the morning? I'm going to explain why. It's a little hack. Ready? You have to let go for somebody to come in. If you're hoarding on your bills and you're not sending out the bills, that means you have a scarcity mindset of money and it won't come back to you. So that's my little hack. You ready? Pay your bills and let something else come in. I promise it'll work. I know it sounds crazy, but that's just a little hack that I do every day. So identify, and then you need to know, when you're with revenue and expenses, what are your top performing revenue services? Like, what are they? And then what's your largest expense? How do you manage patient accounts? Ensuring, like, how do you get the timely payments? How are you getting people to follow up all the time? Careful management, when you understand who's in charge and who runs it, that's what's going to enable you to get financial stability and growth. So understand that. What are you doing to diversify revenues? Some dentists are just general dentists, right? I'm a general dentist, but I have advanced training in other things. So understand how creative you got to be. It's going to be hard to scale a practice where you're at if you don't add other services. Now, I didn't say you have to do it, but in all reality, you could have other people come in your practices to do these services. Are you offering cosmetic services, teeth whitening, veneers, braces? Are you just drilling and filling? Are you just doing basic dentistry? MOs and DO composites and doing that? Are you doing orthodontic treatment? Are you installing dental implants? Are you getting higher ticket volume people in there no matter where you're at? Just in my practice alone in Flint, Michigan, I deal with a lot of Medicaid and I deal with a lot of dental cost patients. And some people still will pay me $50,000. So it's not about, understand, the services you offer, the revenue you bring in, the payment plans that you set up, the insurance companies you take, has nothing to do with your success rate. It's how you utilize these revenue streams for your success, how you offer payment plans to people, how do you set them up for success. That's what's going to ultimately bring you revenue streams. So if you don't do these things, awesome. Think about how you can. How can you incorporate them? That will, I promise you, the more you can have under more umbrella, the better your revenue streams. And if you accept dental insurance, awesome. Understanding how to do it in network and out network and talking to your patients, helping them and being on their team, that's going to help you. And you got to manage your expenses. I mean, at the end of the day, this is all about managing your expenses. Do you even review your costs? Do you know your KPIs, your key performance indicators? Are you looking at overhead expense? How much your supplies, equipment costs? What's your staffing cost? What's real estate? What's your cost on your taxes of your real estate? What's your rent? Or if you own the building, what's your payment a month going out? What are your other services from paper supplies? You need to know your costs. You need to break it down. You need to set up a game plan of what it is that you're comfortable spending. I mean, the first question I would ask every one of you is, how much profit would you like in your practice a year? And hopefully you can answer this question. I can't see your numbers, but you should know that number. Only you know that. What is your overhead expenses versus what you bring in? How much revenue do you have to make for you to make what you want? You need to know math. You need to know basic math. Then how do you implement changes? You need to know exactly the changes and how to reduce your costs. Negotiating with vendor contracts, that's a skill. Guys, it's no different than selling something to a patient or asking a patient to do a treatment plan. The vendors are the same way. I negotiate contracts all the time. I negotiate even things with my bank all the time. Remember, you're their customer. So they want to work with you and they don't want to lose you. So there's a trick to it. How do you optimize staff scheduling? How are you reducing your utility usage time? I mean, literally, that's just how you're going to identify savings. Not that I'm a guy who's a scarcity mindset and believe you got to cut everything, but these are things, these little pieces, that you can do to make sure you increase your revenue stream and cash flow. When you identify areas where costs can be reduced and you literally want to do it without negatively impacting your patient care. So if there's something that you think is going to negatively impact your patient care, AKA not use technology, don't even think about it. Get the best technology in the world so it doesn't impact, right? And then track your results. You're going to know by tracking. Like how many phone calls do they pick up where you're spending marketing dollars that aren't coming in or are? How much does every new patient bring you, right? So that way you can even budget what you can do in marketing. How to save, maybe marketing's not work. These are things you got to track every single day and you'll find new ways you can get creative to really blow it up. Patient retention. Do you even know your customer satisfaction rate? I mean, do you ever sit here and say, you know what do my patients think about us? Are you getting a bunch of Google reviews? Are you asking for Google reviews? Right? Because they always say happy a wife, happy life. I'll tell you, man, a happy patient is worth 5 patients. Like that, I should coin that, because if you can make a patient happy, right? If you know your retention rate, if they're satisfied, if they're giving you a review, like attracts like. So you got these patients, you have an ideal situation where they're really happy with what you're doing. You ask them for a 5-star review. That 5 stars review, no matter what it is worth its weight in gold. So that's what's going to, when you make them happy, you make them customer service satisfaction. It's all about them, right? I said I'm a servant leader. So if you make your practice about your customers, you'll dominate. You're going to maintain and retain more patients rates. You're going to have a higher rating of service. How is your rating of service? How are they rating you? How do you think you are versus how your patients think you are versus how your staff are? Like, these are questions you need to know. And then what is the likelihood that they recommend new patients? You know what I'll tell you? The likelihood, if you never ask, is 0. The likelihood if you ask is higher than you think, especially if you find that right patient. So your patient retention, the reason why this is the most, if I was going to highlight a screen, is getting your patients to stay. Because think about this in a flip way. We're talking about profit margin. You don't have to remarket to a patient who stays, right? There's $0 that you got to spend to keep a patient. 0. Guess how much it costs to lose that patient? About $3,000 a year, every single patient you lose. So let me ask you a question. If you lose 100 patients, that's $300,000 of revenue that you just lost in your practice. And guess how much it's going to cost you to get those back? A lot more than $300,000. So think about that. Spend your money on patient retention. If I was going to sell you any golden nugget of how to increase your revenue stream in your practice, it's patient retention, patient retention, patient retention, because it will reduce every other cost you have in your building, I promise you. So I was touched on marketing and outreach. This is one of those things where if you don't have a good budget right now, start with simple social media. You don't have to do a ton spending ads. As a matter of fact, when I've grown my practice from $750,000 to over $4 million, my marketing spend a month to get 85 to 100 new patients was only $2,500 a month. And each patient that I got in was bringing $3,500 per patient that came in. That's $350,000 of 100 patients to spend $2,500. That was external marketing. Internal marketing, I did a little bit more. I let the public know who I stood for. So I started on social media. Some of you guys might follow me on social media. As a matter of fact, you're on one of my social media channels right now. That's how you might have came across me. Let yourself be known. If you're not a content creator, if you don't want to be on camera, have your staff get involved. Do something to let the people know what you stand for, who you are. Who are they coming to? Events. Host events. I did in Flint, Michigan, born and raised from a single mom, raising $18,000 a year. I knew money was a struggle for me. Well, what's the bloodline of Flint, Michigan? It's a poor city, according to what everyone says, right? So guess what I did? Free days of dentistry, run events, get around social events, get your present known. If anybody follows Grant Cardone, you might not. He always calls it omnipresent, right? He says, get yourself known. You don't stay, get out there, right? But another nugget that's kind of free, reviews. Your patient's reviews. Get a search online. How many reviews you have? If you have 1,000 reviews, this is something where I could get better at myself. I think I only have 400 or 500 reviews, but yet I do 15,000 procedures a year. So you know that says to me when I see my Google reviews are only 400 or 500, we're not doing a good enough job asking for reviews. I'll just be honest with you. So hey, but reviews are one of those things that you can do that you're going to get this good feedback. Because let's be honest, guys, you're always going to get that negative patient. I mean, we're always going to get somebody that they owe us money or they say something, they're going to get that 1 star. Well, let's knock them down the list and get a bunch of 5 stars because let's be honest, most of our patients that come to us like us, we just don't ask for a favor and people want to help. So ask for that favor, get their review. Referrals. Once you get their review, they say yes, they give you that 5 star, they're willing to do a review. Ask for a referral. Costs you nothing to ask. You want to increase your profits? We talked about patient retention earlier. Ask for their referral. Print ads. Guys, print ads, when I do these are probably the last thing I do. They still work. They still work. It's almost like brand recognition. I don't use them a lot. I'll do more social media stuff. But print ads like, hey, you're at a football event. They ask you to sponsor a football event. Go ahead and put your name in a print ad. You do it in a program calendar. Give them a little coupon if you want. I'm not a coupon guy, but at the end of the day, they still work. I know it sounds crazy and antiquated, and if you don't want to do a print ad, do an email campaign. I mean, there's other things that are not on here that you could do, right? You got SEO searches. Look at optimizing your words. If you don't know how to do it, and which this is not my forte, I hire a company that does this for me, right? I hire a company. They search all my words. You can even budget your spend. So if you're starting early in SEO searches and optimizing your websites, you can control it. That's the cool thing. So, but I'll tell you this, guys. Most people that fail in marketing, ready? Here's your nugget. You can coin this. Are the ones that don't market, like period. You only fail in marketing because you have a scarcity mindset. If you spend money in marketing, they're not going to come in. Now, I'll say there's a trick to marketing. That's a conversation I can't get into. Your staff needs to know how to pick up the phone, but I digress. The only reason why marketing doesn't work is because you refuse to spend money in marketing. Let's remember, marketing's job is to get the phone to ring. How you close it after that is different. So I promise you, if I went in all your offices, your phone probably rings 100 to 150 times a day. If it's like my office, and I would say, what's your closure rate? If your closure rate's not good, that's something different than marketing. So don't bash on marketing. It's a good thing. I'm just saying. Okay. So technology and efficiency. This is probably what separated my practice from everything else other than customer service, because customer service is key. And I'm going to touch on customer service and technology just for a second. And I'm going to ask these dentists this question, and you don't have to answer it. But even when you get the 5-star review on Google, even when that happens, they never say how great your work is. You go ahead, look at every review you've ever gotten. You might have one that said, oh my God, Dr. G was amazing. Not really. They say the staff is friendly. They say the ambiance of the building is beautiful. They say that everyone was so nice there. Oh my God, they treated me like this. It's all about customer satisfaction. They don't care about your work. Not that I want you to be a bad dentist. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not, you want to create an experience for your patients that they come back. Technology is one of these experiences. So I'm tying it in. Like, why did you just talk about the patient and technology? Because you don't want to be behind the times. In this day, now and ever, more than ever, with AI, with all kinds of things, if you're still dipping your film in X-ray, whatever this chemicals, and you got to hold your film up to a light, bro, come on. That was 25 years ago. You really think you're going to get the young patient who's a Gen Z or Gen X coming to your office who looks at TikTok videos for 30 seconds and think they're going to go, what the heck? You can't even show them. The picture's worth 1,000 words. If you don't have digital imaging, please say you have digital imaging on this. And if you don't have cone beam, I'm talking about basic cone beam. If you're an implantologist, you don't have cone beam, invest in cone beam. But even your software, what is your software like? Is it usable? Can you show them what it looks like on a screen? Can they see it? Is it colorful? Like, it all manages. That's your Bible. Like, that is everything for you. So practice management software is huge. Digital imaging system, I just talked about it. X-rays, intraoral cameras, capturing digital images. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. You don't have to say anything. Let it diagnose itself. And now we're playing with AI. I mean, I have AI in my office. I use Overjet. So, but overjet is one of these things where AI, do I think I need AI to diagnose? Absolutely not. It's not about me though. If I take myself, I've been doing this for over 20, 21 years, I know how to diagnose without AI. I know how to diagnose with dip films. It's not the point. The patient sees it. You don't even have to speak. What I love about AI and technology in this, let's say you're a dentist on this phone and you want to retire from your practice and you're hiring these new associates that are coming in here. It closes the gap of the clinical experience. It narrows the gap so that you can be more profitable and they can diagnose just like you. So look, AI is not expensive. And if you're not doing AI going forward, you're going to be behind the 8 ball. So technology is huge. It's what streamlines all your operations and improves your productive and dental practices. I promise you, this is money. So patience and technology. People want to know you're keeping up with the times, not going against the times. This is some of my staff. Like I had this on here. They've been with me, all of them, for over 15 years, right? Christine's been with me for over 20 years since I've had the practice. So ever since I've been a dentist here, she's been with me. And the difference, what I love about this is that reason why I had this picture in here is your staff is better than you. You need to invest in your staff. You need to invest in your patients. You need to invest in everyone else about you. It's not about you. The minute you remove your ego from the equation and you realize it's about serving your staff, your community, and somebody else, why we got in this field, to help people and serve people, right? At least what we thought. Oh, and by the way, we do want to make a good living, right? That's why we also picked it, but who are we kidding, right? But at the end of the day, it's about serving people. And your staff, for me to have them for 20, 15 years, 18 years, I think I fired one person in my lifetime, right? And that's because we just chose to part ways, but invest in them. I've invested in over $150,000 within a year and a half of my staff's training. And I know that if I can make them better than me and they can talk like I talk and speak like I speak, your practice is successful. So think way beyond yourself, way beyond your patients. Your staff is huge. Staff is huge. This is a little bit of legal and compliance. Look, and I'm not going to dive into this big time. We know we need HIPAA compliance, budget for it. OSHA compliance, budget for it. HR regulations, you might have ADP or paychecks that helps you with HR. You might have an HR firm. I don't know what it is. Obviously, it's all part of your operating costs. Billing regulations, whether you have third-party billing, whether you don't, and licensing requirements. Hey, guys, plan this every year. Like, budget it out every year. You know, to get your license renewed every 3 years, I don't know, what is it, $600-$700? I don't know the cost anymore. It just happens on autopilot for me. But put that in there. But let me talk about legal a little bit. Guys, quit being so stubborn. At the end of the day, I do 15,000 procedures, if not more, a year, right? And not everybody's you're gonna make happy. Instead of fighting the fight and getting the 1-star review and doing things wrong, it's not worth their time. Give them their money back. If somebody's unhappy, it is what it is. You're actually, if you think about this, you're freeing yourself up for nonsense for the rest of your life over $200. Like, who cares? Like, who cares? We do that all the time. We buy Starbucks, 20 Starbucks, we throw $200 away every time. It's not that big of a deal. I promise you that negative impact will be greater. So with legal and compliance, just make sure you follow your state guidelines. For you that I don't know all your state guidelines, I can't even touch on all this. Make sure you budget for it, and let's move on. So financial planning for your success, budgeting. Like, to me, you need to create budgets and track your revenue and expenses and identify areas that you can save and invest every single year. You need to really, I'm 50 years old. I needed to plan for retirement, not just 401ks and Roth IRAs, because remember, we're held hostage with that, with 401ks and IRAs until we're 60. I mean, even if we take a loan back, guess what? They're going to penalize us. Or even if we take a loan, who cares? That is building wealth differently than retirement. How do you save in your practice? How do you utilize the money within your practice to invest in something greater? I invest in financial strategies. I have financial planners. I have Richie Dolan, who's one of my main guys. You don't know him, look him up. He helps me with finances, real estate investment deals. Ken K is another guy you can look up. I can't pronounce his last name because he's Greek or something, like Kalikakis or whatever. I always screw it up. Ken K is my dog. But there's people that I have that invest in people on my team. And with the practice savings, there's budgeting I do every single day. A good hack, I'll give you a quick hack on financial planning for retirement, just a really quick one. If you have cash flow, if you have let's say your payroll is $25,000, let's just make up a number. Always keep double your payroll in your cash flow. Keep that, so you got 50,000. So you know on a rainy day you can pay your team. Anything above that, take that money, save, retire it, put it in a box, put it in a container where you can do whatever you want with it. That's my little hack. I can go dive deeper, but insurance, get proper insurance. Make sure you have malpractice insurance, life insurance, disability insurance. I know some of you young guys on the call don't think that you're going to get disabled and none's going to happen. I'm telling you, from the minute you become a dentist, you better be protecting your family with life insurance. Because at the end of the day, if you lose your practice and you don't have life insurance, your spouse is responsible for that. Your partner is responsible for that. Everyone that's in touch with you is responsible for that. You might want to protect them, right? And also, you're here to serve other people, remember? So you must protect your family. That's what you're doing this for. Most of you are doing it for your family, let's be honest, to make a good living. But disability insurance, same way, protect yourself. And then debt management. Understand loans, understand how they work, understand when to pay them down, when you don't pay them down. Understand how to borrow equipment, when to borrow equipment, when not to borrow equipment. All this sets you up for success. When do you use tax breaks? When don't you use tax breaks? This is not tax law, but I could dive into that. But make sure you have strategies set in place that'll help you get there. Here's some of the guys that I mentored, guys. Every one of these people, I've increased their revenue by almost $100,000 plus in the first 90 days I talked to them. I've doubled their productivity by hour, almost every single one of them within the first 2 weeks of talking to them. So look at, this is what it is. There's a little video I'm going to send you guys of what they just said about me. I'm going to cut to the middle. It's a minute-long video. Just going to cut to the middle of what somebody said about me really fast. We'll go from here. Hope you can listen to it.
I just want to kind of go over a little video about how Dr. Grossi was able to help me out with kind of transitioning an office from where they were kind of stuck in one place and kind of growing it into what it's been now in just a short time of 2 months. So one thing Dr. Grossi is really good at is coaching a team, because without a team, you cannot grow a practice. I learned that quality from watching him. I just got into this practice about 2 or 3 months ago, and they were kind of stagnant. The numbers, they could have been a lot better. And kind of thinking back to what Dr. Grossi was taught me and watching the way he led, I was able to kind of redirect the marketing and kind of dissect what was wrong, transition the culture of how things were going. And since then, in 2 short months, we've kind of doubled the production. Great guy to listen to. The guy really knows what he's doing. It's helped propel my career in a short amount of time, and we're going to see where it keeps going. Hopefully, we can keep growing things more and more. And that guy has a formula to success.
So that's a little bit of video, guys. Just a little bit about, I got to get this to flip now. Sorry about that. So what is your game? Like, this is the question why we're all here. Like, what is the game you're trying to play? Can you even articulate the game that you're really wanting? You're on this call for a reason. You're on this call to try to increase your profits within your practice. And let's be honest, if you all had the answers, even myself, if we all had the answers, we would not be on calls like this. All of us are on calls to better ourselves and grow. What specific goals or objectives do you have in mind, whether it's in your practice, in your educational journey? What is it within your personal life? And what are the key facts and details you need to focus on to achieve those goals? And then how do you set up, once you know these answers, how do you truly set up the game that you want to play in a month, 6 months, in a year to give you the profit you've always dreamt of having as a dentist? I did not make my first $1 million in dentistry literally until 15 years after the fact, where I was able to net over $1 million in revenue, in cash flow and profit for my family. Now, I'm not saying that to boast. I'm saying it because it's the facts. It took me 15 years to go through the grind, to make $200,000, $180,000, to lose money every single year to get to it. I figured out the formula. I figured out the map. And I really want to be a part of your journey. I want to be a part of your next steps. So what are your next steps? Get clear on where it is you want to go. And let's get aligned and really aligned and clear where what your dental practice is, because it's all unique. What works in mine might be totally different than you. What I want to fix in mine might be totally different than what you want to fix in yours. But over 2 decades of doing it and training multiple practices over and over again and watching the system and framework that I have that works, literally all you have to do is take the next step. I will give you actionable items you can implement right away and start seeing immediate results right now in your practice within the next 30 to 90 days, where I promise you I can double your hourly production or literally increase your revenue by 6 figures, without a question, without a doubt. All you have to do is start a conversation with me. All you have to do is get on a call, no money asked, get on a call and see how I can help you. 90-day action plan. I will get, and you will receive literally a conversation with me and a 90-day action plan, how you can dominate your space, how you can get ready to weaponize yourself in January of 2024, no matter what comes your way, to win the game. I've survived pandemics, water crisis, GM shutdowns. I mean, you name it in Flint, Michigan. The average income in Flint, Michigan is $32,000. And I've taken a practice over $4 million. So I already know most of you are in a better situation than me, I promise you. So something I'm doing works. What are you waiting for? You're on this call to figure out, start a conversation. email me or go to the dentistco.com/book now, right? Or you can even DM us in this links. If you're on LinkedIn, whatever, Facebook, YouTube, DM us. Let us know, and I'll be more than happy to set up a call with you, right? Just for you joining, guys, though, literally, look in your emails. You're going to get a free gift from me. It's my book I wrote, Destiny's Not Hereditary. It's about my little life story about me. And also, you're getting just for free for joining. And thank you so much, guys. You're going to get the practice staff training checklist. Here's like a checklist I use within my walls of how to truly train my staff. And I really hope to hear from you soon. I really hope that you allow me to take this next step with you and journey with you, and you just join the conversation. Go to the dentistco.com/book now, and I'll be love to see you there, guys. Any questions? It's open now. So let me stop sharing, see if we have any questions.
Hey, Dr. Grossi, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How do you balance working on your practice versus working in your practice? You talked about doing the budgeting, doing the, knowing all your stats and stuff, but then what about actually working in the practice and, working on your patients? How do you balance that?
Well, I have windows cut out during my day. That's a great question, Ken. I have windows cut out of my day. So like 7 a.m., I start seeing patients at 9, right? I start seeing patients. I have it planned out when I see my patients, but from 7 a.m. to basically 9 a.m., I'm working on my practice, not in my practice. So I'm working on cash flow management. I'm setting the day up for success. I have systems and roadmaps that I do. I talk to teams. I run my meetings. I do everything that I need to do from a CEO point of view, making sure everything's checked and balanced. I don't take a lunch, so y'all can be different. So every downtime I have, I'm working on to build something, right? Even on my off days when I don't see patients, which is Friday, I'm here, but I'm focusing on how I can grow and who do I have to coach and mentor and train. So I set windows of time out where it's not impacting my family life, because I'm a husband and I got kids of 3. So my time is precious. I just knock out times, just like you would see on a patient, of how am I working on my practice? Like at these moments, it's my precious time to work on it. And then when I'm seeing patients, I'm pretty much engaged in my patients. So hope that answers your question. I block out windows of time.
Do you use any specific, time management tools, or do you have some staff to help you with that?
No, I mean, I basically, my time management tools, all my journals and my planners and everything like that, right? I don't use any software. I do have apps. I do use an app actually that helps me organize my thoughts. So like if I was going to give you a day in the life of Grossi on Sunday night, I will sit down on my computer. I have an app, and I'm allowed to get all my thoughts of the things I must accomplish within the week. So let's just say, Ken, for you, I'm playing an impossible game. And let's say I want to do XYZ in my practice in the week. I want to do XYZ in my family life. I want to do XYZ in all my faith life, whatever it is. I literally was come out with a strategy, and I'm working on what I want to have happen, right? Versus in, I'm like kind of what I want. And then every day I make sure I do one of those 4 things to keep me moving forward. And that's just a system that I use every day to keep me on track, because everybody knows you get white noise that comes in from other directions. It's hard to stay focused, right? You got things going on with your kids and you don't know where to go. I always look back at my system, what I studied on Sunday of what I have to accomplish. And then I just make my checklist and move forward. So I actually do use a software, but it just helps me keep me on track. And then I have like, Ken, I don't know if you can see this. I got like 95 journals because I'm feeling 50 years old. They're in my hand. And I literally have things every single day that I do. I think that if you don't assess where you're at and where you want to go, and you don't know what game you want to play, you kind of stay stuck. So I just use these modalities and methods to keep moving forward. So hope that answers it.
Yeah, I got one last question. What can I expect on a one-on-one with you? What kind of stuff should I have prepared if I book a call with you?
Well, I'm going to ask you a few questions, really, right? Where are you at? Right? I mean, literally, where are you at? Like, where is it? What is it that you're wanting? What problem do you need help solve with? Like, where are you at? Where are you currently at in your situation? Like, what are the truth and the facts? I get kind of raw, to be honest with you, because I can't help somebody that's not honest, right? To be honest with you. So like, where are you at? Okay. And then why are you there? Like, okay, let's say you're someplace, Ken. Let's say you're someplace. I'm going to give you a quick little version. You and I are doing one-on-one. Where are you at? And then, okay, what caused you to be here? Like what situations around you have got you here? And then, ready, a little simple question. What do you want to do? And where do you want to go? And then by when? Like those are kind of like the little questions I would ask. And then I see, man, to be honest with you, if we're a good fit, right? I mean, like I said, it's all going to be based on your feedback with me, because I'm a servant leader. This is not about me. This is how do I get Ken to the legacy and life that he wants in the practice that he wants, or life he wants, if that helps.
Awesome. No, thank you. Appreciate the time.
All right. Any more questions? Well, guys, if I don't see any more questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Thank you so much. As again, and Ken, thank you for the great questions. Thank you so much for your time and energy. I know you could be doing anything on a Wednesday night, especially at 7 o'clock. So I said 30 minutes. It is 34 minutes. So I apologize for being 4 minutes over. Thank you so much. Remember, dentistco.com/book now, and you can set up a free consultation with me. I hope to hear from you soon. God bless y'all. Go crush it, man. Have a good day. We'll talk soon.